Go off. Go off. Go off. Go off.
Peace, y'all. I'm back. I was only gone for about 10 minutes or something like that. I had to get something to drink and stretch my legs out and stuff like that. But I'm back. I got Dr. Minister Enqi on the show. Y'all read his bio. Y'all read everything I had to say about him. Y'all been seeing me promoting him in my groups. And I'm going to let him just get down to the nitty gritty, because we just had the Mighty Hebrew on the show, and he took over the whole damn show, took it over. And that's exactly what I wanted. I didn't want to have to ask any questions. I want y'all to ask the questions if there are any questions. I want y'all to make sure y'all take out y'all notepads or whatever you got going on to take some notes down, because he's definitely into natural healing. He is very, very educated, and he is on my show, So welcome to my show, Dr. Enqi.
Peace, sis. Peace.
Peace, peace, peace. I like that chandelier behind you. Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
That's what's going on over there. So how you doing today? Definitely into natural healing.
I'm hanging in there. You know what I'm saying? I had a little workout in the backyard with Chase. He got his little basketball hoop, and he'd be working dad out.
Your baby, how old is he?
10.
10. Well, that must be great out there working out with your young son.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah. And he worked.
Well, what are they? What are we gonna talk about?
He worked and saved up his own money to buy his own whole basketball court too. So it was,
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
10 years old.
Yeah, I told him, I said, you got to get your quarantine life together. You got to have something to do so that way it's not, we not go drive. Because, everybody's basically, you imprisoned in the house with folks. So I tell folks, find ways to keep yourself busy so you're not driving the other inmates crazy.
Right. I try to teach my children about saving and everything as well, so they can get the things that they need versus the things that they want, So that's really great. That's real great. So you're on my show today. We're gonna be talking about the art of healing, SoulCraft, right? Is SoulCraft your new book?
Well, SoulCraft right now is a video documentary series.
Okay.
And I'm compiling it to put it together, but I'm not going to put it, the book is not going to be out until all of the video series are done, right? And I'm also working on an extended version of my most popular book, which is in its I think it's the 10th or 11th print right now. Eat Right for Your Haplotype. And so I've been thinking about how I'm going to do it and how I'm going to price it, but it's the new version of that is going to be the coronavirus edition. And I've been trying to figure out how I'm going to do it, or so I'm really, I just been swamped, what I'm saying? Then I also released the album. It's called Sound Becomes Light, what I'm saying? So folks can download the album.
Hip hop?
I absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I told you I'm from the Bronx.
Right.
That's like oxygen. That's how, that's how we breathe. Even when
right.
The sound of our breath, the inhale rhymes with the exhale. So, it's just an extension of being.
Your book.
Thank you. Just an extension of being able to communicate with the people and reach some different audiences with the message that we have.
That book that you just showed, where can it be found? Excuse me, where can it be found at?
UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org.
UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org?
Yeah. UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org. And it goes through all of the protocols. It even has protocols that are applicable now in coronavirus situation, in regards to, you know, being able to boost your body's ability to fight off coronavirus, and some of the simple things you can do, like incorporating quercetin into your daily routine. Quercetin is really good for reducing inflammatory compounds. And inflammatory compounds, as most people know, are the culprits behind most of the problem associated with coronavirus. So when people have severe issues with coronavirus, it's because of the inflammatory compounds building up, flooding the lungs, which, depending on how bad that is, it's going to wind up being either ARDS or pneumonia. At that point, that's when the chest feels like it's got a car or elephant sitting on top of it, and people can't breathe. And so, you know, quercetin combines with water and boosts water's ability and glutathione's ability to function as an antioxidant by reducing some of those compounds. So just having stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and being able to incorporate that stuff into your daily routine.
That's dope. How did you learn all this?
Good question. You know, over the years, I've had different answers, but from the vantage point I have now, looking back on my life, I know it was a calling that I had, because I never, in that capacity, I never really blended in with everybody else. So, you know, I can say I had strong male figures in my life from the time I was born. My dad, first and foremost, but uncles and cousins, and they all really pushed science on me. And then I kind of had I like magic, and that kind of grew into like little chemistry experiments. And so I always rejected, oddly enough, science in school because of the way it was taught, and then went home to teach myself. It didn't all click, though, into a healing thing until my youngest daughter got into an accident, and, you know, car accident, and we had to put some emergency protocols together. But, you know, I got involved. You know, I started learning about like Jewel Pookrum and Dr. Africa and Dr. Sabi much later. I had already developed a really, really, really strong knowledge of chemistry and biochemistry. So by the time I got on to this, it just made everything that they were saying, you know, I was able to absorb it at a rate unlike most people.
And how many years have you been studying the healing arts?
I would say I've been studying biochemistry or chemistry and biochemistry probably 30 years. 30 years. Yeah. And in terms of healing, though, I would say probably 20 years. And then, you know, as more people began to seek me out for advice and stuff like that, I just, actually my children really encouraged me to start like getting certifications. And so I, you know, jumped in different personal training schools, and, you know, got certified at one, and got a certification as a sports nutritionist, and then got a certification as a master herbalist, and finally went ahead and made the bigger investment and became a naturopathic doctor. A lot of people call themselves naturopaths, but they've never been to school for it. You know, it's different when you learn in a school setting. You know what I mean? And but to be honest, how I help people hasn't really been influenced that much by those, you know, certificates. But what the certificates do sometimes is allow you to get into doors that you otherwise couldn't get into because you don't have a credential. Right. So I'm still studying, right?
Right. And when you are these
right now, I just joined another school. So even now, I'm still a student. I stay in student mode. I think that's the biggest, most important thing for people to do is stay in student mode, because student and teacher is just a relationship about the people you surround yourself with. So if you are more educated in a given area than the people around you, in that setting, you're the teacher. But the moment you step out of that setting, you might find yourself like, so sometimes people get the idea that because somebody's really good at something, that they're really good at everything. So people think that LeBron like knows how to like build an airplane. Like, no. LeBron's really good at basketball. You know what I mean? He doesn't know how to build or fly airplanes, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, so you just got to keep that going. And then every time you revert back into student mode, it makes you more powerful as a teacher, because you constantly have new things to teach your people. So I'm definitely working on a new certification now. Hoping that comes through. And yeah, that's the deal.
That's what I was about to ask you, but you answered my question. I was getting ready to ask you, even though you have those certifications, do you continue your education on top of those certifications? But you answered that, and that's actually a really good thing. Yeah.
Well, the environment is changing, and your biochemistry is based on your body. So it's impossible to really be effective if you're not constantly studying, because what you have to deal with is always changing. You know what I'm saying? The stuff that people knew back in the 20s didn't work in the 50s. The stuff we knew in the 50s didn't work in the 70s. The stuff people knew in the 70s wasn't applicable in the 80s or the 90s. The stuff people knew in the 90s, you know, you got to constantly use what your elders did as a foundation, and then you continue to build on it. That's how you create living pyramids. You know what I mean? Somebody had to set the cornerstones for that pyramid, and then, you know, other folks had to continue to add bricks on top of that and get to the apex. So, you know, with holistic healing, I feel like we got a lot more. We got a long ways to go before we are where we need to be, because we haven't invested the money into our holistic healers yet to create institutions, our own hospitals, our own clinics, and things of that nature. So that's really the next level where I see this thing going. You know what I mean? Somebody pull that bag out, and then you know, me, KT, and Mama Pill, probably that'd be like my team. That'd be that'd be the team right there. And we'll put a little clinic or hospital together with a little lab, and, you know, begin to create our own institutions, because we spend a lot of time complaining about the institutions that are available now. But the major problem is nobody really, like, niggas talk that shit, but they don't live it. You know what I'm saying? So they'll complain about Bill Gates, they'll complain about Trump all day. But when we say put that bag up, you know, they start looking the other direction. They send you a $5, you know, they might send you a $5 cash app, which is cool. That's going to keep the lights on. That will keep the lights on. So don't think that I take a dollar cash app, but that's not going to get us to the point where we, you know, creating hospitals and clinics and really creating the situation that we need to empower ourselves and make ourselves really biochemically sovereign. I think that idea of real estate or paperwork to free folks or give folks some sort of edge in life is ridiculous if we are still biochemically dependent on other groups of people. Right.
Let me see. Much love to Mama Pill. This is not Blue Pill. I'm sorry. I'm reading comments coming in on YouTube right now.
I see it. Mama Pill. That's one of my.
Okay, you see it.
Yeah, that's one of my best teachers.
Okay. I thought they was thinking that you were red pill or blue pill. I'm like, this is not red pill or blue pill. This is Dr. Enqi. All right. So back to as what you were saying. Now, as far as like the healing arts goes, do you have any books written on that besides that one you just showed us?
I think I've probably written over the years, maybe 30 or 40. They're not all in
30 or 40 books.
Yeah, they're not all in print still. But this is the master edition and culmination of a lot of that information. So I wanted to be able to give people understanding of just a decent understanding of your biochemistry, how it works, and then also give people all of the protocols they would need in times of, when stuff pops off. You know what I'm saying? Know exactly what to do. And I wanted to take it out of a herbal situation where people say like, hey, dandelion's good for your blood, or, stuff like that. I wanted to give people the actual components in each herb that are actually doing the job, because I feel like that level of transparency translates to every area of the globe, and where certain herbs may not be available, right? So if every herb is not available, then the compounds, and you can get them from other plants. Any herb that one plant has, there's another plant that has those same compounds in there. So if you know those things, then you can take your personal healing studies and your personal health to another level.
So you said that you didn't find out about Dr. Sebi or Dr. Africa until what did you learn from these two brothers that you incorporate with your own, teachings and healing now?
Good answer. I mean, like I said, I've been studying the chemistry and the biochemistry since I was 10 years old. But it wasn't until I was in my late teens, early 20s that I began to be introduced to Dr. Africa and then Dr. Sabian. That was through internet. So I was incorporating as much as I could. I think the thing that I most appreciate about Dr. Africa is probably his in-depth documentation on the history of healing. And this is probably my favorite book of his right here. Now, I had already kind of developed a product line, and I had all of that stuff going on when I started to be able to spend time around Mama Pill in a student sense, and what I was able to learn from her over the course of a relatively short period, because I was already where I was at scientifically and with my product line. It was able to help me advance my knowledge of herbal biochemistry, specifically with wild indigenous plants. So and that's where I was able to learn, from Baby, because in case people don't know, Mama Pill was Dr. Sebi's right-hand man and his wife. And she was actually the first one dispatched to the first patient that they were able to heal that had AIDS. So she had an incredible wealth of knowledge that I felt like I needed to extract from her brain. And she still has a lot of stuff, stored up there. So she's a super quadruple OG when it comes to the natural sciences.
That's deep. So, all right. So as far as Mama Pill goes, do you currently right now build with her? Does she teach you? Is she like your teacher?
Oh yeah, she's a Mama Pill. Yeah, I'll just say it like that. I stay in student mode.
Right.
I live the student life. You know what I'm saying? Every month I spend a couple $100 on new books. Every time I see a new course that I think could give me a niche or a foot up or something more that I could introduce to the people. Not only do I do it because it's a hobby of mine, like I'm still the kid that's infatuated with science experiments and biochemistry. So not only do I do it because I enjoy it, but because the people support me, I feel like I owe the people that support me to continue to study so that they know that the money that they contribute to me via whether they send me a cash app or whether they buy a product, that money is not just being squandered off. That money is in turn being invested back into what I need to give back to the people. So, you know, and then I got my children, they get sharp. So, you know, Aubrey, you know, she'll be turning 5 soon. Her vocabulary, she's got like a college vocabulary. She's scary with her vocabulary. And then Chase is getting a little, so I got a bunch of them that's sharp, you know what I mean? And so I got to stay ahead of them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you can't get sharper than dad. So I got to, you know, I keep my blade sharp for a variety of reasons. But then, you know, also, like I said, the environment is always changing. So if you look at coronavirus exposed a lot of people who pretend that they know science, pretend that they know biochemistry, pretend that they know how to heal folks. Because when coronavirus hit, they had no solutions for people. A lot of them still look crazy online right now. Us, on the other hand, we went right into our protocols, and we've been 100% successful. You know, and we're not doing anything brand new because, like I said, I had already put the book out a few years ago. So I'm coming right out the book. Like, all right, everybody, turn to this page right here. Boop. This is what the program is. Bing, 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 bing. Get this and this and this and this. I didn't make up any new products. Even though the supplies for the products, some of them quadrupled in price. I never raised my price. You know, I just stayed the course. And, you know, we've been able to really put a dent in what's going on. But the massive flooding of misinformation is probably the most problematic aspect of what's going on with coronavirus right now. So, you know, we just, you know, we just been trying to put out some good information. Been getting some help from a lot of folks to put out that information. Shout out Knowledge. Shout out Sister Valerie. Shout out MJ. Shout out all the folks that helped me spread the word, and, you know, everybody that shares the videos, hits the likes, the thumbs up. People don't understand how important that is. When you hit the thumb up, if you got 15 people that follow your page, you just literally shared that video to 15 people. If you got 100 people, it's 100 people that you shared that with. The thumbs up is how you share a video. So just those things are super important. But, you know, I got to have a long debate with Judge Joe Brown this Friday. And so that was very interesting. You know what I mean? I kind of went in there thinking that I was going, you know, hold hands and skip through the grass and sing Kumbaya. And Judge Joe Brown just whipped that scimitar out on me like, sing. But it was a really good build, and it was a chance for people that aren't necessarily exposed to the information to, you know, look at some new concepts, create some new conversations. And then it was a chance for the people in the community that are used to the no class / very low class form of debating that you see practiced over the last 5 or 6 years or so in the conscious community, to actually see brothers exchange, brothers especially from different generations, to be able to disagree and go back and forth and debate each other without disrespecting each other in any way. I even had people, while watching it in the chat, they were like, man, this ain't no debate, this is a conversation. And I'm like, nah, this is absolutely a debate. You know what I'm saying? It's just, you don't, you know, a lot of people have never seen a debate outside of the conscious community. So they don't know what it's like. They think organized arguments are debate. You know what I'm saying? And it's, you know, so I really wanted to thank them, the whole staff that made it possible, Judah Priest and everybody, you know, that allowed that to happen. So, you know, just trying to get the word out there. You know, I got Culture from Hot 97. He supports the platform on a regular basis. Super, super good brother. You know, so, you know, just trying to push the buck forward.
So, you know what, speaking of the corona, what's your like your thoughts, and what do you know about coronavirus that probably I don't know and the viewers probably don't know?
don't know. I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what you or the viewers know. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you want
what is it that you've been building on as far as coronavirus?
everything, I put up a master class, which is probably about, I don't know, maybe 6 to like, I don't know, it's about 5 or 10 hours, a master class I put out on coronavirus. So it would be tough in, you know, like a few minutes to just go through, you know, because it's a lot. You really got to understand what a virus is first and foremost. People don't understand that. Most people don't know what a vaccine is, right? And I think that's probably the biggest misunderstanding floating around right now in the community that probably would benefit people the most, just understanding what a vaccine is and what it's designed to do. So the first thing I would say is vaccine does not mean cure, right? So you have a lot of people that are having this pro versus anti-vaccine conversation, and they're having this conversation. When you listen to it, you can tell immediately that the people that are pro-vaccine, they think that the vaccine means cure. They think vaccine is synonymous with cure. Like, how are people going to go back to their normal lives if they don't have a vaccine? And you know, what are people going to do without a vaccine? And we need a vaccine, and we need a vaccine. And they don't understand that a vaccine is a controlled exposure to the virus. So it's the same as you controlling your exposure to the virus, right? So if you have to, so that's the first piece about your immune system. There is no, like, there's no free lunch in life. In order for your immune system to learn how to deal with a virus or pathogen, it has to be exposed to it. So the people that are most frightened to leave their house, the people that are wearing a mask on top of a mask and rubber gloves on top of rubber gloves, those are the people yelling, we need a vaccine. And it's like, wait a minute, why are you hiding from the virus that's right outside your door if you are screaming that you need a vaccine? Because all they're going to do is go grab that virus from outside that you've been ducking, stick it in a needle, and inject it directly into your bloodstream. So that becomes the question that people should really be having. Do we want to have our exposure to the coronavirus come in the form of a needle being injected directly into the bloodstream, along with things like aluminum and mercury that we know actually inhibit your immune responses? Or do we want to control our own contact with the coronavirus and have things in our body that we know, whether it's putting certain salads together or whether we're using herbal supplements, things that get our immune system functioning at its best? In my humble opinion, I want to make sure that my body has a excess in all of the key nutrients that the various parts of what we call our immune system need in order to function at their best when I make an exposure to the coronavirus. I don't want to have aluminum and mercury in my system with coronavirus because that's counterproductive. It doesn't make sense to put something in your immune system that stops it from functioning and the virus.
Right.
So that would probably be the biggest thing I think people need to understand, is that vaccine is not a magical pixie dust cure. You don't get shot and then you're cured from coronavirus. Number two, when you add in the fact that coronavirus is not only an RNA virus, but it's the RNA virus with the largest genetic library, that tells you that the vaccine may not really offer you any long-term help because the virus changes every time it surfaces in the people. So if I take a shot of a vaccine in February, by the time September rolls around, that vaccine is null and void because I'm going to be dealing with potentially different strains of the coronavirus by then. So it doesn't make sense. So you know, at least not from that perspective. But I know that people have their different views, and I'm not one to knock people's views. You know what I'm saying? I let people live, and they have their own views on however they want to work stuff. You know, so that's just, you know, that's just where I'm at with that.
That was some good information you put out there. You know, people see it. There's people that read it. There's information like that on all over social media, but you know, they're always debating and arguing about it. But people love to argue with the truth. You know, they love to
Well,
because they can't handle the truth.
Well, the thing that I find mostly is that people are
And the
just,
truth is what you just said, vaccinations.
right. I think the main problem is that people are arguing. People are primarily arguing opinions and emotions. So most of the people that you find today that are pro-vaccine, they don't really understand. They don't really understand vaccines. They don't really understand vaccines, and these are people that have already put their foot in their mouth. So they have no choice but to try to toe the line and still dig in and promote the vaccine because they don't want to look stupid. You know, so these are guys that have a history the past 2, 3, 4, 5 years of attacking natural paradigms in terms of health and healing. So now that this situation happened, you know, they look crazy. And a lot of, if you really understand what's going on, a lot of what these people are saying sounds insane because they came on TV and told you that they don't have any treatments. They don't have any medical treatments. They don't have any vaccines. But these are the same people complaining that they're not getting proper treatment. And I'm saying to myself, what is proper treatment after they told you they don't have any treatments? They don't have a proper treatment for coronavirus. So what would you be expecting to get? Right. And so then in my mind, I would think, okay, it would be incumbent upon people to figure out who has anything that's working against coronavirus. And if we look at China, they were able to use traditional Chinese medicine, which are herbs and herbal teas, to combat the virus very successfully. You know what I'm saying? So that's where it's at.
Natural medicine. Natural medicine is where it's at. And that's why he's on this show, because you're very big on natural healing and natural medicine. So that's why he's here, to give you all that extra knowledge that you all are missing and needing in your lives. So when did you know, like, as soon as this coronavirus thing hit, did you get on, you know, did you get to studying? Did you get into researching, or did you already know about this coronavirus before, you know, it was all nationwide, worldwide and everything?
I had, you know, I didn't realize that people were in such a panic. I didn't realize that people were in such a panic. KT had really broke it first and kind of was the first one of the two of us to really take it serious. He was hitting me up, you know, like, bro, you really need to do something on Corona. I'm like, bro, it's Corona. I mean, they got the info already. You know what I mean? People know what to do. They know what, you know, they got to go in their bag. We done taught these folks for, you know, 5, 10 years already now. So they should know, you know. But the panic surrounding the coronavirus, I think, was the most dangerous aspect of the coronavirus. You know, I think if people had, you know, if people knew what to do, like a lot of the folks that follow us, they would just go into their, you know, they'd go into their ones and twos. Hold on for 1 second. Chase.
Yeah.
Chase. Come here.
Look at that man. Look at it. Ain't it nice?
Huh? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Talking about your chandelier again.
Oh, my bad.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that chandelier. Like, I don't know.
I thought it was slick too.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah.
So, all right. You know what I wanted to talk about too, as far as like that whole coronavirus thing, how everybody went into a big old panic. You know, they just went crazy when it hit. Something that I did notice, and a few other people noticed as well, is when you went to the stores, like everything was cleared out, like as far as like noodles, you know, frozen microwavable foods and so forth. But the whole area where like the vegetables and the fruits and so forth, it was all there. It was all there. Even with the vitamin section, but they cleared out all the stuff that is not good for them. Everything that is not good for them was gone, including like the beef and the pork and all that stuff that, you know, all the meat section, everything was gone, completely gone. But when you go and look at the fruits and stuff, it's there. It's there.
Yeah.
The fruit.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I was the first one to really start bringing people's attention to that. So it's dope to see the information traveling. But
I seen it as soon as I went to the store. I'm like, what the hell? Like all the fruits here.
Yeah.
There's no food, like frozen food, but all the fruit is here. You know, and it was there for so long, it started going bad.
Yeah. It just showed how little people really understand their body. And even still, it's still the same. People really don't understand how their body works. People are looking forward to medicine, you know, and they don't realize that 97% of these things, like for instance, you'll have somebody that's anti-holistic health. They'll say we need the medicine. And I'm looking at them and I'm saying to myself, this nigga's insane, because 97% of medicine are synthesized from plants. And so how do you get to say that the medicines will work if the plants don't, when the medicine comes out of the plant?
Right.
The plant has more compounds than you're going to get in medicine. And one of the biggest things that becomes problematic is side effects. So one of the things that people have to understand is your biochemistry is all interwoven. It's a web. So each biochemical reaction is going to determine the subsequent success of every other biochemical reaction. And so when you put a medicine in your body and it changes a peptide, changes a protein, or it speeds up a reaction or slows down a reaction, whatever the case may be, that's going to have a ripple effect to all the other biochemical. It's like the Jenga puzzle. That's the example I use. When you pull out the log from the bottom, at some point it's going to topple over. And in your body, that's side effects. But when you actually deal with the plant has compounds to deal with the other cascades of biochemical reactions. So not only do you get the medicinal effect that you was looking for, that they would get in the extract or the medicine, but you also have compounds in the plant to compensate for the domino effect that spreads out from the one change that you made. So it just shows a lack of you know. And then like, to be specific, you deal with the hydroxychloroquine, right? Or hydroxychloroquine, however you want to pronounce it. But that was implemented because they saw that it had effect in boosting the pH or the alkalinity in the red blood cells. And for me, the first thing about that I thought was crazy, right? Which is, and it's a couple things. It's two things that's really crazy about that. The first thing was that Dr. Sebi was put in jail because he told people that boosting your alkalinity could keep you healthy from all manners of illness. Now here we go. We're looking at what, maybe 25, 30 years later, we have a global pandemic, and the first medication they're prescribing is a medication designed to boost your pH in your circulating bloodstream. So for me, that was crazy. The second thing that was crazy for me was the fact that, you know, like I told you, I come from the Bronx. So, you know, I was somebody else before I was minister and then, you know, eventually Dr. Enqi. Because I didn't just like a lot of these guys, I didn't just appropriate the name doctor. I didn't start using the term doctor until I got the actual naturopathic degree that says, hey, this guy's an ND.
Okay.
But the other crazy part was, being from the Bronx, I knew that this same compound is used to cut heroin. So many people, that doesn't really ring a bell for them, but for me it did, because I know that all opioids have a side effect of suppressing the respiratory system. So we go from a global pandemic of opioid use, which weakens people's respiratory system. Then we go into a global pandemic of respiratory illness. 2 + 2 = 4. And then the solution that they offer is to cut for the most commonly used opioid. I said, man, this shit is crazy. So anyway, one of the things though that I had found out, continuing the study, I was looking at all of the autopsies from China and just comparing them to my knowledge base and things that I, you know, already did a in-depth study of. Everybody that's having these severe effects from coronavirus, no matter what their age is dealing with glutathione deficiencies. And glutathione is the #1 antioxidant in the body. And so understanding that we had a natural system surrounding seleno enzymes and seleno proteins, it just like in my mind, I'm thinking, why aren't we increasing? Like, why aren't we telling people that they need to increase their seleno enzyme or their seleno protein production? Why aren't we telling people that they need to focus on providing their body with the resources to produce higher levels of glutathione? Because glutathione is a compound that even if you take a glutathione supplement, it doesn't reach all of the tissues and areas of the body. Your body really has to make glutathione on its own. So you want to really just provide your body with the raw resources, the nutrition that allows your body to build that up. You know what I mean? And so, you know, like I said, it's just a lot of information that people need to get, you know, and, you know, I have herbal compounds for selenium, antiviral kit, detox kit, ocean steak, and, you know, a plethora of stuff. But, you know, milk thistle, a lot of people don't know, milk thistle is like one of the top 10 plants that you can use to increase your body's selenium naturally.
What is it called?
Milk thistle. Most people know of milk thistle for its benefit on the liver. But the reason why milk thistle has such a benefit on the liver is not just the I think it's called silymarin or something to that effect. There's a compound that they promote from the milk thistle as being the benefactor or the compound responsible for the effect in the liver, but it's not. It's the high levels of selenium and milk thistle's ability to help your body produce glutathione, which is particularly needed for the liver to run efficiently. And then the liver, managing the body's fats and oils, is responsible for helping regenerate and protect the membranes of the body. So all of those things are interrelated.
You have products and so forth. What kind of products do you have?
All kind of shit now. No, I got detoxes. I got an antiviral kit. The detox is primarily designed around the body's NRF2 system, which is your body's antioxidant system. That's the actual immune system. Your Your NRF2 system and your pigment system. Those are the guys that actually fight off illnesses. Your white blood cell system is primarily there to clean up stuff. So that's one of the key things for people to understand too, that your pro-oxidant system and your antioxidant system work like a seesaw. So your pro-oxidant system would be the family of white blood cells, and then your antioxidant system would be your body's pigments and your NRF2 system.
Can you explain, I'm pretty sure you can you explain to us the importance of keeping up with your immune system and how it correlates with your mind, with your mental health?
Well, I'll say this. A lot of people, you know, when it became trendy to talk about mental health online, a lot of people would ask me, why don't I spend more time talking about mental health? And I'm like, what do you mean? Every single video I got is talking about mental health. And they're like, no, you don't. You talk about diet. I'm like, okay, so, and see certain things.
That's mental health.
Boom. Certain things like that give me, like, I learn what my audience doesn't know by the things that they say, even the things that they feel most passionate about. So when they get ardent and say, no, that don't got nothing to do with mental health, I know they don't understand mental health. Everything that happens in your body has to have, it's a biochemical reaction. Everything that's happening is based on biochemical reactions. And if you don't have the biochemicals, then you can't get the reactions. So, you know, like for instance, I'll give you a couple examples. One of the most popular prescriptions for people with certain types of quote unquote mental health disorders is lithium, right? But lithium is supposed to be a trace mineral in your diet that you get all the time. Lithium is not a medication. A lot of people are confused about that. They think lithium is a pharmaceutical drug. It's not. It's a mineral, just like calcium, magnesium, or iron. But because you're not getting it every day, it causes an imbalance that somebody then gets to prop themselves up and make themselves look like they're, you know, like they're super savvy. And be like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to ahead and prescribe you some lithium at you know, such and such milligrams. And then you take the lithium and you're like, oh, my God, I feel much better. No, you are just back to even because you're putting in something that you're already supposed to have in there. Right. And the funniest thing about lithium is now they're releasing studies that shows that lithium kills coronavirus. Right. So, for the people watching, all you have to do is type that in. Lithium inhibits coronavirus, right? So that's one example of how your biochemistry or neurochemistry, I should say, more in regards to what you're asking about mental health. That's one example. Then you have your amino acids, which are the most important, the aromatic amino acids. And a lot of us, Black people, we're not getting enough aromatic amino acids. That's one of the things that I was able to concentrate in my Mama Atomics formula, was making sure that people got a good variety of their aromatic amino acids every day, because those are the guys responsible for your entire pigment system. Whether you're talking about melanopsin, melatonin, melanin, you know, your rods, your cones in your eyes, all of those things are based around aromatic amino acids. And the interesting thing is the pesticides that are now being put on the foods target the production of those aromatic amino acids in your produce. So the plants that you're eating, if they have been, you know, drenched in pesticides and all that kind of stuff, it's not in there. So you have to get the supplementation. And how does that affect your mental health? Well, a lot of people aren't getting the production of serotonin. So a lot of people are dealing with various levels of anxiety and depression because they don't have the serotonin production in their brain. And the reason why they don't have that is because they're not getting enough tryptophan in their diet. Your body converts tryptophan into serotonin, and then the serotonin that's there in the pineal gland when you go to sleep at night is converted into melatonin. So that's all your neurochemistry right there coming from tryptophan. Tryptophan is also a catalyst for the production of neuromelanin, along with tyrosine, which is another aromatic amino acid, right? And so if we don't have that, if we don't have those guys, we don't get the compounds that come from those guys. The dopamine and all of those other things are based around those. So if we're not having those in our diet, we don't get it. And you know, these are just the key little aspects that people experience when they start to change their diet and they sense a greater sense of well-being and peace. It's because their body is more balanced, because they have a excess of all of the nutrients that they need in order for all of their biochemistry to run smoothly. And, you know, when you're getting a large variety of everything that you need in, you don't have to worry about getting an excess or having toxicity from these things, because they neutralize each other. Like copper and zinc. You know, if you have an excess of zinc, your copper is going to flush the excess of zinc, and vice versa. So you only have things like that begin to build up in the body when you're missing other nutrients that you're supposed to have.
Great answer. Great answer. Great answer. I've been actually talking a lot about mental health, you know, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we're in like in the last week of mental health. And that's one of the main reasons why I was a little excited about you coming on the show. I'm like, yeah, like, you know, this man is very in healing. And I know that he has answers for mental health. You know what I mean? And people don't really understand.
Let me give you another one. I'm trying to cut you off, but let me give you another one. And
yeah, go on.
Sometimes when I talk about this, people feel like they getting gypped, or I'm not really giving them the whole piece. Like, there are people that if I don't tell them something to purchase, they feel like I'm not giving them sound advice. When I tell them, like for instance, I said milk thistle and Brazil nuts for selenium. You know what I mean? I don't sell milk thistle or Brazil nuts. You know, well, actually, I do have milk thistle in some of my compounds, but I don't have like Brazil nuts or whatever. I don't sell light bulbs when I tell people to change their lighting. So a lot of times people get mad, but your lighting is one of the main contributors to poor mental health. And where people can see that at is there are certain games, and they'll tell you, hey, you know, play this game under supervision because the lights can cause seizures and fits, et cetera, et cetera. Well, if lights can cause seizures and fits, why don't people think it affects their health? If light is what creates vitamin D in your body, why don't people think it can affect their mental health? If light is what converts arginine into nitric oxide in your bloodstream so that you have good circulation, why don't people think it affects their mental health? It's just crazy. So, you know, as people start to stay in the house more, right, and they're not getting the natural sunlight, and one of the most dangerous things that happened was when they started making these money-saving light bulbs. When they made the money-saving light bulbs, that took out a lot of the spectrum of light that you would get from your light bulb, primarily the balance between red and blue light. And so now people are inundated in blue light. The computers are giving them nothing but blue light. The TV is nothing but blue light. The cell phone is nothing but blue light. Blue light depletes the body of vitamin A and vitamin D. Why is that problematic? Because vitamin A runs a lot of the biochemistry in your eyes. So, you know, these are the things that, you know, these are all the little things that people don't understand. And your eyes are a part of your brain, probably the most important part of your brain. You know what I mean? So, it's just, you know, it just, that's why, you know, I'm glad for platforms like yours where we, you know, we're able to have these conversations and share information.
Yeah, this is some great information. valuable. And that's what I was kind of sharing. I'm like, y'all need to tune into this. A lot of y'all up on here talking about y'all looking for cures and somebody's sick and blah, blah, blah. And when I tell you all to go eat right and drink right, you ain't listening. So maybe y'all listen to Dr. Enqi.
I'm gonna tell you the problem with that. They don't know what that means.
They don't. You have to go more into detail.
Right. When you say eat right and drink right, they don't know what that means. You know what I'm saying?
We gotta go more into detail. We go more into detail.
Yeah.
But even when I go more into detail, they're still asking more questions like, well, where, like you said, well, do you have that? Do you sell that? Where can I get it from? Well, this is where you can get it from. But then they still come back like, well, I'm still not feeling well. Well, you need to get X, Y, and Z. But people really, they're saying they don't feel well. They complain about this. They complain about that as far as physical and mental health goes, but they're not actually taking the necessary steps to help themselves. You know?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do a video on the top pro virus foods. Because I think that people need to know that just as much as there are foods that are antifungal, antibacterial, antiviral, there are foods that are pro viral infection. You know what I mean?
When are you doing this video?
Probably today or tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'll be having so much stuff going on, but definitely within the next day or two, I'm gonna do that video.
We see this video at
my YouTube page, Dr. Enqi.
Give us right now, before we get off of this this segment, give us 4 foods that are, that will help you, make you get a virus, that prohibits, that inhibits the virus.
They gotta come to the channel. They gotta come.
No, give us 4. Give us 4. Give us 4.
This is what I'll do. I'll say this. Things like your seasoning. You know what I'm saying? I'll tell people what to focus on in terms of antiviral help. One of the things that I'm encouraging people to do is switch up their salads, switch up their greens. Start to make your salads with dandelion greens and mustard greens. Those are the 2 things. Those are the 2 greens that offer a good amount of protection just in terms of what you're eating. The mustard greens, mustard seeds and roots are able to concentrate trace elements of silver and gold. So I know a lot of people are worried about the increased exposure to radiation that we've been dealing with the new technology rolling out. Those transition elements are able to reflect and neutralize that increase in radiation, right? But most plants aren't able to absorb those types of minerals. So that's why I say mustard greens are great. The dandelion is the dandelion leaves are the highest in iron. Dandelion leaves have 5,000 parts per million in terms of iron, and you can get a little bunch of dandelion leaves in your supermarket right now for $2-3. You know what I mean? That's one of the things I was talking about when people were running through the supermarket and not grabbing the produce. I'm like, the dandelion greens are sitting there going to waste because now you niggas done got toilet tissue and water. Y'all scared to go back to the supermarket because somebody told you coronavirus was up in there. Red onions. Red onions not only are antifungal, but they increase circulation. You can tell how much you need the onions by how much you cry, right? So when you cut into that onion, if that onion just automatically start making your eyes run until you can't even look forward, like you can't even deal with it, you know you need to incorporate more and more onions into your diet. And when I say more onions, I mean raw, uncooked, whether you put it, you know, on a sandwich, salad, or in your smoothie. You know, you got to drop them red onions right on in there. And then they also, red onions fortify the NRF2 system. And then not only do they fortify the NRF2 system, but red onions provide the compounds that your body needs to convert selenium into selenium enzymes and selenium proteins. So just by the red or the purple onion is cool. It doesn't matter which one. You know, ginger root, right? Ginger root is high in lectins, and lectins act as a secondary source of antibodies, you know, to give you protection. Then all of these guys have a different variety of fiber, which feeds different types of microorganisms in your body, which line the cell membranes and the mucous membrane and offer protection on that level as well. So just making sure you get this stuff in. Like, I know a lot of people, they go days and days. The people don't pay attention, but a lot of times they go days and days and days without eating like real food. And when I say real food, I mean like actual fresh vegetables or fruits. If it's not fresh vegetable or fruit, it may be vegan, but it may not be healthy, right? So don't think that because you're not eating meat or because you're not eating dairy that you're eating something nutritious. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. You know what I mean? A lot of starches and fake meats is not going to give your body any help in this situation, especially you know, like dealing with a virus is gonna. In fact, the starch and the fake meat is probably going to be just as effective. Well, actually, you know what? I'll take that back. It'll be slightly better than actually eating real meat, because real meat clogs up your body and confuses your HLA system. Your HLA system is the system designed in your body to distinguish foreign genetic material from your domestic genetic material, you know, because viruses come in DNA and RNA form. And when your HLA system can no longer tell which is the foreign genetic material versus domestic, that's going to become a autoimmune disease where the body begins to attack itself. So meat contributes to the it contributes to circulating foreign genetic material that overwhelms the HLA system in so even people that are not vegans or vegetarians, I would suggest just for the time being to lay off the meat and the dairy. Not to mention that a lot of the processing plants have been shutting down because they are testing positive for coronavirus, and the stuff coming out there is contaminated, which is why if you go to your fast food restaurants, you'll notice that a lot of your fast food restaurants have a limited menu. You know what I'm saying? You might go in one place and they're like, yo, we ain't got no onion rings. You go somewhere else, they're like, yo, we ain't even got no ketchup. Like, you know what I mean? So it's because their facilities are compromised in many cases. And so, you know, just going back to the basics, you know, incorporating some of those things in. And when I say the ginger, I don't mean like ginger tea. I mean actually the ginger root, whether you chop it up and throw it in your salad or something, or whether you throw it in the blender and just, you know, smoothie that sucker on down. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff that you know, a lot of people, their taste buds have been adulterated. So, you know, we like sweet stuff. Bitters, you know, gives us an aversion. So the cheat code with that is just to go to the blender. You know what I'm saying? If you can't eat it, blend it.
Blend it, right. Man, valuable information, but I see you still wasn't going to give us at least one thing that will allow the virus into our body. Okay, you want, but we'll go to your YouTube. We'll go to your YouTube and figure out what these things are.
Chocolate. I'll give you one.
Chocolate.
That's right. Avoid chocolate.
Chocolate.
And that means all of you that's getting ready to say, oh, he must be talking about milk chocolate. He's not talking about the actual cacao. Yes, even all of my raw cacao folks. Cacao is pro-viral infection.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
Dang.
So put that chocolate down. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's, chocolate Thai or something, then that's a whole other conversation.
So I don't even like chocolate like that.
A lot of people do.
I was craving for it early in my. I don't even deal with chocolate. I don't deal with chocolate like that.
Right.
So
And,
yeah,
wait a minute.
I just like my mint chocolate.
You
So I
have
got
it,
me one.
right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I know.
But I don't do the chocolate though. Like
that's good. What are you doing while you're pregnant to keep yourself healthy and corona free? Are you just hiding? You hiding in the house?
Nah.
What you
Nope.
doing?
I go out. I get fresh air because I know how important and how vital getting is. So I work out. I'm also a fitness trainer, so I work out daily. I take walks daily. I eat fresh fruit, just like you was just speaking about. I eat my greens. I love mustard greens. Okay. So yeah, so I eat healthy, I drink healthy, and I get fresh air. And I've been completely sick. I've been completely, healthy. I haven't got no sicknesses or anything like that during this whole thing. From the time I came back, almost everyone in my family have been sick. Not my immediate family. I'm talking about my outside family. Like everyone has been sick with either the flu,
we done lost.
tinnitus.
Yeah, we done lost a few folks. So
Yeah, I just eat. I eat right. I eat right. I make sure that I take a lots of fresh everything in, and I don't really eat meat like that. I eat fish, but I'm not really a meat person like that. I'm just.
Which is my favorite dish, but without no money is still a wish. And now I'm like the truth about getting paid. No, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yes, I mean, that's just what it is, but that's how I've been keeping healthy. Runny nose, I don't cough, I don't do any of that. I just eat fresh foods and I love to blend. Back in I think November or October, we was taking a lot of ginger root because we was around a family that was getting sick. So we was taking a lot of ginger root, making ginger root tea, from scratch and so forth. But it helped a lot. You know what I mean? It helped maintain our immune system. I know that much. That's what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing during this whole entire time to people. But I guess they listen more when they see me like this on the camera versus me typing it on Facebook or typing it on Instagram or tweeting it. When I go live, they listen more.
Let me say this. It depends on who you're speaking to. This what I'm getting ready to say applies to everything. It's not just health. Your friends and your family don't really respect you.
Right. They listen to other people. They'll listen to other people before they listen to me.
Well, the problem is they don't know the other people's flaws. They don't know their background, their history. So for me, it took maybe 10 years worth of teaching for the people in my immediate circle to be able to start to come back to me and start to, and I know a lot of it was just, again, people have put their foot in their mouth like, yo, nigga black bugging, B. Like a lot of them had their foot in their mouth, so they didn't want to come ask me for help after telling folks that I was crazy for going down the life path that I went down.
Right.
But that's why if you go to a business seminar or multi-level marketing seminar, they always talk about the process of edification, because you have to bring in a stranger so that the stranger is respected. You know what I'm saying? The stranger, your friends and family gonna respect what they got to say, but they done seen you at your worst. They done seen you as a little girl. They done seen. So they like, I ain't getting ready to listen to her. She don't know what you talking about. You know what I'm saying? Then they say things like, if that was true, then you would have been made $1 million already because you would have been able to do this and this. So it's just,
that's the response I've gotten from some people.
hey.
For example, my one of my sisters, the oldest, right? Oh, how much I'm a health freak, you know. I wash my hands when I touch certain things that I don't know who touched, you know. When I go into a grocery store or whatever, I like to clean my cart. I was doing this before the whole pandemic done here. I cleaned my whole entire cart. I don't want to touch the daggone cart. I don't know who was digging up their nose and touching on the cart and so forth. So I clean my daggone cart, you know. But she always said, "Oh, you doing too much. You be doing too much. Why you got to clean?" Because you don't know who touched that cart. You don't know who's touching the cart before you touch it, you know. But then now she tells my dad recently, "Oh, I see why she was tripping. You know, I see why she always was cleaning the carts and why she, you know, always want to clean the doors off and so forth." Well, this is why. You know, this is why I like to be clean. I wash my hands when I know I need to wash my daggone hands. I'm cleaning the cart. I'm not touching anybody's damn door. I'm just not doing that. You know, I don't want to catch a cold. I don't want to get sick. You know what I mean? I don't want your boogers on the back of my damn hand. I don't want that. And that's just how I am, you know. But certain people think I'm crazy. Certain people think I'm crazy, or they think I'm overdoing it. They think I'm a hypochondriac, you know, a drama queen, or whatever else they want to say, you know. But it's just me. I'm just a clean person, and I like to live healthy, you know, and that includes also with the people around me. And that's another reason why I haven't been sick.
Let me tell you what it's called. It's called loving yourself. See, a lot of people don't love themselves. And even though they think they do, they don't know what that really means to love yourself. If you love yourself, you automatically have high standards for yourself.
Right.
And those high standards for yourself translate to the people around you as if you think you all that, or you think you better than us and all kinds of other stuff. But really, they don't really love themselves. You know what I mean? And you can tell because they will put more money into their closet than they will put into their library. They'll put more money into their closet than they put into their supplementation. They'll put more money into their car than they put into their body. So those things tell me you don't really love yourself. You're infatuated with the idea of looking like you love yourself. So you want to make sure that you got a haircut every 4 days. You want to make sure that your shoes sharp, your pants freshly creased and all kind of shit. Meanwhile, if somebody tell you, hey, you need to grab this $40, $60, $80, $100, they're like, oh man, that's expensive. I'm looking at folks like, what do you mean? So all of these are things that we have to work through because people have been quietly indoctrinated over the years to relegate their health to somebody else as a responsibility. So they don't think that they're responsible for their health. They think the doctors are supposed to be responsible for their health. They think that the insurance companies, Medicaid, and all this kind of other shit is supposed to pay for their health. Most people aren't used to spending cash for their health. They're not used to spending their hard-earned money to fortify their own body. So things become problematic in times like now, because when you have limited resources and there's a pandemic like this, and these institutions that you're looking forward, that you've given the autonomy over your body to, when they come on national TV and say, hey, we don't have any medicine for this. We don't have any vaccines. We don't have any treatments. In fact, we don't even understand any more of what's going on with this damn virus than you do. People start panicking and going, oh my God, they're mistreating us. Oh my God, they're not taking care of us. Oh my God, what do I do? Oh my God, they're killing us. No, you have turned over your responsibility for your body to somebody else. And those people are going to do things differently than what they're going to tell you to do. Because a lot of what we're being told is, based on political posturing and commercial interests. You know, people are forgetting this is an election year, right? So nobody wants, as a politician, nobody wants to look stupid. You can't come in front of people in this pandemic and be honest, because that's going to hurt your political chances. You know, you can't come out and say, hey, guys, we have no idea what to do for you, so you might want to take care of yourself, you know? And then when you find out in terms of the other stuff, like with one of the things with the hydroxychloroquine or the Plaquenil, the commercial name, you know, it turns out that it stops people's heart. It gives people a regular heartbeat. It's creating a lot of problems. And then they come out in public, and as that begins to circulate, Trump, who I normally agree with on most issues, I'm a Trump supporter. But Trump came out and said, "Oh, I've been taking it every day. You know, I use it every day." Then you do a little couple of clicking around on Google, and you find out that he has this little tiny percent of the actual company that makes the medicine that he owns, right? So, and for me, what made me look around for that info in the first place was that it looked like a promo. Like we're online personalities, you know what I mean? We understand what promo looks like. We understand what a drop is, you know what I'm saying? Like that looked like a drop, you know what I'm saying? Look like branding. So, you know, we got to understand this stuff. There are companies responsible for producing these masks. There are companies responsible for producing the ventilators, the respirators, all these things got money behind them. And so you have commercial interests that are at war, and the commercial interests don't come out in the conversation that reaches the people. You know, you'll just see, you know, certain people that are against vaccines, certain people pro-vaccines, but what we're not understanding with the vaccine side is that Bill Gates is pushing that program real heavy because he wants to be the first trillionaire ever, right? And if the vaccine hits, he is going to be a trillionaire overnight because the vaccines cost anywhere from $3,000 to $5,000 per vaccine. At least that's what they got on the table. Now, again, John Q. Public, that pay for his own health, doesn't know that the vaccine is that expensive because he's going to swipe his Obama card, his Medicaid, his benefit, his Red Cross, Blue Shield, MetLife, whatever his insurance card is, and he may have it get the vaccine for free or maybe a $20 or $30 copay. So he doesn't realize that the other side of that is, you know, they're paying thousands of dollars per that shot. So if you're looking at giving, you know, X millions of people, you know, hundreds of millions of people a vaccine for $4,000 a piece, or, you know, a couple of billion people, because it's 9 billion people and this is a global pandemic. So if you're looking at issuing this out, this is an incredible run on the economy. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, I just think, like I said, my thing is always just to get the info out there, maximum transparency, and then people make the decisions they want to make. Because I'm not against medication. I'm not against vaccines. My only problem is when people are doing these things without doing their due diligence.
The proper knowledge on it.
Because these are the same people, when they take the medicine and then they get jammed up, then not only do they want to turn to the holistic community for help, but they want to complain about the medicine. And most times it's not the medicine's fault. It's your fault for taking it and not knowing what you're putting in your body in the first place. You didn't take no time because you ignored these types of conversations until your ass got sick. Then you panicked, and then you ran down to the white jackets and said, I don't care what it is, give me some. And they did exactly what you asked them to do. And now
they gave you something. Hey,
that's what you said. And now you want to get angry with them about, you know what I mean? So, you know, one of the big influences on my life when I was young was Eddie Murphy, right? And people don't realize how Eddie Murphy translated into me doing what it is that I do now. But I had snuck down to the basement because I was too young. My father wouldn't let me watch Eddie Murphy. But my older brothers was in the basement watching Eddie Murphy. And I had snuck down into the basement to see his, I think it was the first comedy one he did. I'm not sure if it was Delirious or Raw, which one it was. But the thing that was so crazy about him that struck me was I saw this black man, right? And this is the 80s. You know what I'm saying? And when I say black, I don't mean like light skin. I don't mean brown skin. I mean black. He's dark skinned like me. And he's standing on stage. And I mean, he is talking his shit. He is mother that and whoop that. And he's got a full audience of people. And I'm like, yo, how much is he? Like, this is his job? Basketball, yeah, he's getting millions of dollars to do this. And I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do. Somehow I want to find a way where I get paid to talk. You know what I mean? And so, eventually I learned that you would have to, have something that people want to listen to in order to get paid to talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, anybody that wants to be a speaker, I would suggest that you follow your heart's interest and become an expert in whatever that is, whether it's football. You don't have to do, to be an expert. You know what I'm saying? You can be a commentator if you can't play sports, but you really love sports. And now that we have social media, it gives everybody an opportunity to create a platform. The only problem with that is that people aren't investing the time before they jump on their platform to become proficient in whatever it is that they're going to speak about. But yeah, so that's he influenced me a great deal, Eddie Murphy, to just get in front of people, be comfortable in front of people, and talk your shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to wrap this up. You know who I got coming on next, right?
No, I sure don't. Who you got?
Enqi.
Man.
Yes.
Let me tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you, because just like I'm saying, Eddie Murphy played a role in me being me right now. Enqi played a big role in me being me. A lot of people, ever since I first entered into the quote unquote conscious community, people have been threatened by the things that I have to say, because, one of the things that people don't understand is that you don't see with your eyes. You don't hear with your ears. You see and you hear with your mind. Depending on your level of education on a given subject determines what you'll be able to see when you look around you, when you see events unfold, and what you'll be able to hear, pick up, and make sense of. And I've always been focused on the science of things. And so that hurts people who have created religious flocks in the conscious community. Most of the conscious community, they attack different religious groups, but they don't realize that they've become a religion all unto themselves. And, Enqi was the guy that opened his doors up for a very, very early Enqi. Actually, before I was Enqi, it is Enqi that gave me the name Enqi. And
what?
Yeah. Because Enqi used to do like he would sit down with you and walk through he would do a whole process, if you wanted to come up out of your name and legally change your name to something that's more befitting to your indigenous culture. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I did that with him. But before we even got there, he had opened up his doors for me because of Azariah. Shout out Azariah. I think he has a Facebook page and a YouTube page called the Zaziel Bay. So follow that. But Azaziel, or Azariah, however people know him, he was like a person that really pulled me aside early on while I'm telling you, I was so far from thinking like anything close to this. You know what I'm saying? Because at the time, white folks was taking care of me very well. So, although I would come listen to the brothers that are angry with white folks after work, I was not going to stop going to work. You know what I'm saying? I was getting like $7,000 a year from Verizon Wireless. But I spent a lot of time studying with him. And he was like, bro, I'm telling you, you got a calling, man. You magical. You meant to help heal these people out here. And I just kept laughing him off, flagging him off, like, you bugging. You know what I'm saying? In the back of my mind, I'm thinking he just liked me because I buy all his stuff. Like, anytime he came out with new books, I would buy all the books. Whatever he put on his table, I would buy it. You know what I mean? And he was like the first person to really believe that and try to instill that in me. Like, nah, I'm telling you, you got to give. You got to give. And then that's where I first met Brother Kaba, Booker T. Coleman, right? And, you know, Brother Kaba started to teach me. And what I learned from Brother Kaba mostly, how to teach. So it wasn't necessarily the information, even though I learned a lot about Kemet and the study of melanin, but not in a hypothetical weirdo kind of way. He, you know, he was really grounded in the biochemistry because he actually was teaching these things in school. He was a school teacher, but how to teach people, because there's a difference between being a teacher and a lecturer. A lecturer comes in and, you know, it's about reading off the paper or reading off the slides. So the lecturer just talks to you. He's not really checking to see if you have understanding or comprehension. A teacher is going to go at your pace, and he's not going to stop until you understand what it is that he's trying to share with you. So those were the big three for me in terms of grooming me to be able to go out and teach. Brother Kaba, Azariah, and your next guest, Mfudishi.
Yes, and Mfudishi is actually going to be performing my ceremony next June.
Yeah,
yes,
he's a beast.
Yeah, he's the man that's going to be marrying me off. Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited. He is.
When you get him on there, you know, the only problem
I got to have you back on again.
The only problem I have with Mfudishi is this. I don't think that he talks enough about martial arts. A lot of people don't know that he is and now that we're in a situation where we've lost Baba Kalindi and some of the other masters in this pandemic, the things that Mfudishi knows have just become that much more valuable. So, you know, for the family that's watching me now, that's getting ready to watch him, make sure y'all start asking him questions about his martial arts experience and how those things are very crucial right now, because just knowing some of the katas and the forms give people something to do at home to keep their muscles from atrophying in the quarantine.
Yes, yes. I gotta have you on again. I have to. I have to.
Hey, hit knowledge.
Yes.
You hit knowledge is the same as you hit knowledge, you got me. You know what I mean? So shout out Do the Knowledge Radio.
Yes. All right now. It was great having you on. Please tell them I see the number right here. So is this the only way they can get in contact with you?
Well, my name is there, so they can find me on YouTube and Instagram with my name, and they can shoot me a text with the number, and everything else they can figure out from there.
All right, I'm about to, let me see. I'm getting ready to plug this in.
Nah, they got it. It's on the screen right there.
Okay, all right, y'all got it.
Yeah.
All right, y'all got it. He said y'all got it. I ain't got to plug it in.
Yeah.
And thank you all for watching.
Yeah, it's right there. Thank you
all for watching. No problem. No problem. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Peace.
All this knowledge gain, information exchange. All right, y'all. So I'm going to see y'all in a few minutes with Miss Dishi Jehudans, you know. So I hope y'all tune in and learn this Kemetic knowledge and all about the yoga and the martial arts and everything, because he's getting ready to come on in a few minutes, in about 35 minutes. So tune back in. All right. This is the most shows I have done thus far since I've been doing my podcast. I'm telling you, I don't normally do 3 shows in a row on a Sunday. this is normally the day that I am actually doing my studies and I'm doing my work and I'm trying to relax and so forth. But I had to have these brothers on today. And I really appreciate you all for tuning in. It's all love. It's all love. And I'll be back in about 35 minutes, y'all. All right now. And I'm out.
It's the scoop with Fari. Go out.